the big question is, so is Trudy the problem or is Indy the problem? When they're together, I've put this together, okay? Because they have been absolute living dragons for the last 2 years. And honestly, I feel like you've been getting a lot of the blame, Trudy. I really do. And I don't even know if it fully needs to be on Indy, because you've been lovely in the pasture with Annie and Phoebe and all the pregnant mares. I really think it's just the combination. Have y'all ever had that one friend that y'all were toxically besties? Like you brought out the worst in each other, but you had the most fun doing it. I'm afraid that's what's going on here. So I really think Indy and Trudy mixed is the entire problem, because Trudy, Earlene, and Kennedy have been having a good old time the last couple of days. And like I said, Indy's getting along with Annie and Phoebe and all the rest of them. She's kind of keeping to herself. She's not being besties with them, but she's not trying to kill them. I put 2 and 2 together, okay, because I really did make Trudy take a back seat during foaling season. I was like, if you're going to be this big of a dragon, you're not carrying your own babies. Like, you're being harmful to the other mares. You're running them around. You're not letting them eat. But then I remembered with her first 2 babies, with Hank and with Penelope. She was out with Ethel and Gracie, and she was out with other mares, and that was all good and dandy. No problem. Same thing with Indy. When Indy had Wheezy, she was out with Annie and Ethel, and cool, and like nobody had issues. But this past year, you had Daphne and you had Wally, and you were out with a lot of different mares, and all of a sudden, you were both dragons. She's not mean to babies. I remember her letting Howie nurse off of her. So she is very sweet to the babies, but she's being mean to Beyonce. What the heck? But I really, really think it's the duo. They're a toxic duo. So I'm not saying Trudy's coming back into like carrying for herself this year or anything. I don't really know what the plan is with that. But I'm thinking if Indy doesn't carry 1 year, Trudy might be back into being a contender to do that. Because I really think from the past statistics, Indy is the common denominator with her and vice versa that makes them dragons. Let me know if y'all have experienced this with your own horses. Do you have a toxic duo that it's just better for everyone, even though they're besties, if they're not together? Let me know.